Wednesday night and the nights are low, looking out for a YouTube show where they shit on Disney, roasting movie scenes. You're in the mood for a chat. And if you give a shit, you are the man, babies, young and sweet, only 43. Man, babies, feel the heat of the brownie stream. Oh, yeah. You can chill with dollar bills, having the time of your life. Ooh, ring that bell like the stream, digging the man babies. Hello, man babies. Oh, we're back. We're back at it again. It's Wednesday nights. You know what that means. It's time for part 3 of our 9-part series on the Phantom Menace. We're going to go again. I hope you're all excited, locked, loaded, and you've got plenty of alcohol next to you because you're going to need it tonight. We're going to play a drinking game. And yes, we are going to get into it. And we've got the pod race and many other things to get into, and we're not nearly going to complete this film, but we'll give it a go. We'll see how far we get into it. And Phil's telling me no singing. Phil, you're banned. Make sure he's banned, Brownie. Okay, so that's enough from me. I need to get some of the retrobates out, and then we'll tee this goddamn thing up, shall we? So, first up, folks. Let me get the, I've got to get the full scripts up because Brownie will tell me off if I don't. First up, he's my #1 fan, hailing from a tent in my back garden. He's the man of 1,000 voices. Set your faces to stunning and brave. It's not Brian Young.
Way, good evening, chat. Good evening, Bjorn Volvos. How are we all?
Oh, very well, Brian. And hello to the 50 people who are currently watching. And good to have you back, Brian. You join us for the start of the pod race. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, Sam, thanks very much. It doesn't appear that I've missed much at all from last week's episode.
No, we crawled our way towards the pod race and then decided if we kept going, we'd be going right throughout the night and probably still going now. So we called it a day, but we had fun all the same. We got some. We're mixing it up tonight. We've got some returning faces. Shall we get the next one out, Brian?
Yes, let's do it. Let's get the show on the road, Rune.
Excellent. Okay, next up, watch out, War and Peace. He's the Star Wars novelist, hailing from the only town in the UK with urinals in the ladies' toilets. He's the jester from Leicester. It's Swapshop.
I don't really know where else the women are supposed to piss, Bruin.
Well, we have to be inclusive these days. So if they want to piss standing up, then we have to accommodate that. But so it's I guess Leicester's very forward-thinking in that sense. You all Kiplinged up tonight, Swappers?
Oh, yes, Ruin. I can't wait. George Lucas really does make exceedingly good prequels.
Oh, he's really embracing the dark side, his Swappers, and we are enjoying this new character. He's really diving into the depths of the accent. We love it, Swappers. We love it. Keep it up. Okay, but we've got we love you two reprobates, but we've got to get some more out to get us through this. So on with the next one. We see the good inside our next guest. You'll find him in the top 50 ASMR artists under the category Young Posh British Twink. Is the star of YouTube. It's the Dark Sith Lord George. Ka.
Good evening. What do I need to do to get into the top 25?
You've been in the top 100 for a while. You're now in the top 50. You're making progress. I would say just a little sexier, a little huskier, if that's possible.
Well, it's a category people unfortunately tend to age out of. So I guess if I just stay this permanently young-looking cartoon, then by definition I'll reach the top eventually.
Well, there you go. You'll live forever. No, as Luke said in my movie, no one's ever really gone, and no one ever really dies. Okay, well, look, it's great to have you on, Geordie. You're joining us for an exciting part of the movie. So Hope you're up for a little bit of pod race. I asked the previous gang last week who their favourite pod race driver, pilots, whatever we call them. Have you got a particular favourite pod racer?
Oh, I'm going to forget their names. But when I played the N64 game, the pod Star Wars Racer, the one that I used to use before Anakin's pod racer was available it's the guy with the really impractical cockpit, the one who sits in that like oval thing that you can't actually see through, so you have no idea how he drives forward. But that was a reasonably well balanced machine, so whatever that guy's name is, I'll go with him.
Can anyone help him out, Brian or Swappers?
No.
No. All right, chat. He's done a good job of describing who his favourite is. Please help him out, chat. We know you've got some. We've got some knowledge on the chat there.
I mean, if all else fails, I can just change my answer to Sebulba because he kills people. So
I would say Sebulba just because it reminds me of Ruin's head, the shape of it. You know.
Oh.
Sebulbas.
Well, no, I'm desperate to know who he is now. We'll get someone on the case. Don't worry, we'll get you an answer for it, Shorty. But anyway, we've got more retrobates hanging around. We don't. Spoiler alert, we don't have the wise elder of the channel, so we're going to have to make up for his it's shit catchphrase. But we do have, let's just check in the green room. He's still putting his clothes on, so he's not ready. So I'm going to bring him out. Last and most certainly least, he's the man I like to call the Yorkshire Ripper. Because he's ripped, folks. He's absolutely jacked. He is the 50-year-old virgin. It's Mr. Brown. Get out here, Brownie.
It's shit.
There you go, folks.
Drink, everybody.
But we do.
Evening, everybody.
Your other catchphrases, Brownie.
Look
Good
at
evening,
that.
Mr. Brown. And we are hoping to have. I know that the chat is starting to get a little alarmed. We are hoping to have Z. But he's currently malfunctioning. Yes. So we'll see how he gets on. We'll see if he can sort out his circuitry. But we're back. We're back at it. We're back for the Phantom Menace. And yeah, you up for this one, Brownie? You enjoying
Always.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, is the chat enjoying it? Hello, chat. We can see you.
Hello to the chat.
Hello.
Drew Gordon's disappointed we haven't got Philip Schofield on. Apparently he was available. He's not very busy at the moment. But
and I know I'm a twink, but I'm not that young. So
oh, yeah. We can't have Lord Chord and Philip Schofield on the same.
Too old for
him. Well, I don't know if you want me to do the formalities, Brown, but I'll do it anyway. We are discussing.
Well, shall we do the super chats first?
Oh, we've got super chats already.
Somebody's making it rain. Here we go.
Oh, well, sod the intro. Get the super chat up. We'll go on, Brown. It's going into your arse pocket.
Garth Knight in the chat for $5 at Franco. Harry testified on behalf of Brownie's PC. Turns out his wife wanted publicly clearing Brownie and the gang. Okay.
Who's Harry?
And
my mind is going to Prince Harry there, but I don't actually.
Prince Harry.
know.
Oh.
And Garth Knight again for another $5. This is at you, Lord. B Huskier at 2.
I don't actually know. I only ever use one voice, and it's this one. I don't know how
Lordy,
to do that.
Lordy, the man's paid. You're going to have to give us a bit of husky Lordy.
Yeah, go on.
If I can figure out how to do that, I'll get back to you.
We've already heard you do falsetto, so it's not beyond your capabilities, I'm sure.
No, I guess not. I have no idea how I would even begin. I'll work
Stop
on it.
being bashful. Okay. Go on, give it a go.
I don't know. My throat doesn't work in that way.
not
I don't know how it
prepared for
works.
Oh, he's like trying to get Mega Geek to sing. We're not going to get it.
Mission Impossible.
Girth Knight. I do want Garth Knight to change his name to Girth Knight. I so much prefer it when I reference him in that way. MJ says just drop it down an octave. Well, it's easier said than done, MJ. If he's,
I don't think I can go down an octave. I can go up 3 octaves, but that's
Can
not
you go
really what
down?
you're after. Can I go down? Oh, it's been said that I can. No, I already speak at pretty much the bottom of my vocal range, so going down an octave is not an option.
I did listen back to last week's show. I had some long car journeys this week. I did notice last week I clocked up 34 Philip Schofield references, so we're going to have to include that in the drinking game. So
That's
any
one there already.
Yep, any Phil Schofield references, have a good old
I thought you were
swig.
going to introduce everybody as Holly.
I know, but I had my song already. But I will
Oh.
say it now, Brown, for everyone in the chat. How are you? Are you okay? I hope so.
Chat, are you okay?
Just please let us know, chat. Are you okay?
Please, chat, are you okay?
I'm just putting myself in the minds of Americans who are listening to this and have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
We asked last week. We said, how many of you Americans know Philip Schofield? Yeah, there was a lot
Nobody.
of nobody.
That's why they come
But
to
we
these
did-
streams for the cultural education.
Yes, you actually learn
35% of my 35% of my viewers are Americans.
Yeah.
Abject Mediocrity wants to know, is Schofield a shot or down a drink? Oof.
Well, he downs something.
I would say just a little one because he likes
Well, I
them.
think Schofield, he may as well have been shot. Maybe not.
Anyway,
Anyway, 69 viewers.
dealer's choice. 69
That's
people are
appropriate.
listening to
Yes.
us babble on about Philip Schofield. We'll establish the drinking rules as we go on. Brownie, because we better get it professional because we're getting lots of people
yes.
tuning in. Very quickly, we are crunching the numbers on episode 1, The Phantom Menace, 1999. Lord Chord wasn't even born. It was Certificate U.
I actually was born before 1999. I can confirm that, but not a huge amount before. This was one of the first films I went to see in the cinema, I think.
Ah,
Nice.
well, we can relive your experience. It was obviously directed by George, written by George, story by George, music by the fabulous John Williams, produced by George and Rick McCallum, and stars, among many others, Ewan McGregor, Liam Neeson, Natalie Portman, Jake Lord, and Ian McDermott as Palpatine, Q Swappers.
Well, more Darth Sidious than anything.
It sounds like someone's been like cock scraping your esophagus. That's going to be painful going
I see
forward.
you're an expert on such matters, my boy.
Oh, have another drink, folks. That's
Drink,
there's
everybody.
an early one for you. So small print on the screen. I can't read it. I hope you can.
If you're not
can't-
subscribed, subscribe, everybody. Let's get this channel moving. It's been slow.
Oh, he's having a go. Why are you having a go at the people who are here, Brown?
I'm not.
Have a go at the people who aren't here.
That's your job.
Look, best way to do it, if you are subscribed, if you unsubscribe and then resubscribe.
Resubscribe.
Yeah, does
Yeah.
that work? I don't know. Give
Probably
it a go.
not.
Give it a go.
And obviously, if you're feeling generous, you know what to do.
Mr. Brown, question from Franco, just quick one. Oh, not Franco. It was a question from MJ.
Did the chat move
Very
up?
Franco. Chat's on fire.
It is.
MJ wants to know, do you like
Slow and
us?
steady wins the race.
There you go. You can take that one with you and use it when life throws up its challenges.
Girth again.
Girth
Do you wanna read
Knight
it?
is Girth Knight's making it rain. I feel like a cheap whore, Girth. He says, I'm not going to pretend to know who Schofield is or what he's done. 35% of me is curious. In a Jared from Subway way. Oh, you've countered our Schofield reference with a reference I don't understand, Girth. Does anyone else? Jared from Subway?
Maybe it's an advert thing. I don't know.
Girth, please clarify. You don't have to do it via super chat, but please follow up with an explanation. We want to
Google
know.
informs me that Jared Scott Fogel is an American former restaurant spokesman and convicted sex offender. He
That's
appeared in
perfect.
advertising campaigns for Subway between 2000 and 2015 when he publicly became blah, 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 blah. So, allegedly quite similar, yeah.
Oh, I'll have a foot long then.
That's perfect. Good work, Garth. Look, I know we've got a lot of slides to do, and we're probably going to be here till Christmas, but the chats are on fire tonight, and we've got a question from the willy-coptering. Oh no, I won't say that. Let's just call him Willy.
The willy-coptering Mong of the Baskervilles at Ruin the Man Baby. Question for the panel: if you were a pod racer, what would you be called?
Oh, well, maybe that's one maybe for us to ponder rather than put us on the spot. But yes,
Dave.
I would. We'll ponder that one, Willy.
Dave, it's fine.
I can just see all these really elaborate names in the lineup, and then right at the bottom there's
Right,
a Lord. Dave.
Well, let's throw it back at the chat. We'll take your pod. We'll take your pod racer name submissions. Chat. There's your first. Oh man, I'm going to regret this, aren't I? All right, Max Fister. We've got the Destroyer of Law.
Oh my God, Dark Side Bob.
Fucking, we've got another 2 hours to go, yeah?
Dark Side Bob. Dark Side Bob is brilliant.
Oh no, it's gone. It's all gone.
Oh my God. Please, Dark Side Bob's one, read it out, please.
Oh, my
Thank
stomach hurts.
Where are we?
Oh, the vaginator. Oh God, Dark Side Bob is winning for me at the moment, but they're all great.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones coming in.
I'm going to mute myself.
Oh God, I'm crying already.
Oh, Dark Side Pop. Yes. Well, look, we haven't even got onto the first slide, and it's all fallen apart. This is why we're here, folks. Oh, God. I'll be at this rate, Brown. I'll be amazed if you're not demonetized within the first hour.
There was one for somebody, Schofield.
Why is everything sexual in nature? I don't know what's
Because
going
it's
on.
you.
Here's one for you, Brownie.
Oh. Yes.
I'm navigating that one. Honestly, we could just do this for 3 hours.
I can just imagine the Lord just sat there shaking his head in disapproval. The lowbrow
He's loving
nature of it.
He came on to relive this first ever movie he watched at the cinema, and we're just doing stupid sexual names.
You're wrecking my childhood, like Phil Schofield on speed at the moment.
Oh, here we go. Got another Schofield lubricator.
What about this one from Kiri Antos? He just goes route one with this one.
It'd be Fast FOOK.
Oh God.
Fast FOOK.
It's not letting us down. He's got Schofield Fumbler. Yeah, very nice.
The child collector.
Here's one for Prince Harry. Darth Peg.
I'm sweating like a bastard.
Oh, this is great. Anyway, great stream, guys. We look forward to part 5 next week. No, it's honestly, the chat never failed to impress. Brownie, we better get these goddamn slides going.
I think we better do, yes. There's another super chat.
Garth Knight won the lottery. What's going on, Garth?
Garth Knight, $5. I want Michael Mann to make a Heat movie with Schofield and Jared Fogle facing off in a Californian airfield.
Oh, yeah. Great movie, Heat, as well. One of my favorites. Yeah. Great reference there, Girth. We like it. So look, we've got work to do, folks. So let's all buckle in because we're going for a pod race, and I believe we literally signed off last week at the start of the pod. This is the setting off here, Brown, aren't they?
They are, yes. Literally,
Yeah.
the race has just started.
So here we go. So let's see if we see Dark Lord Chord's favourite pod. Is it on there, Chordy? Can you see it, or is it off camera?
No, he's not there.
Okay, we'll get the chat on it. So here's Anakin looking. I'm right in saying he can't get his going, can he? It's a bit of a problem. Isn't this because Sebulba sabotaged this?
Yeah, pulled the pipe off something, didn't he?
Oh, dirty bastard. What do we think while we're on it? What do we think of his pilot's gear, the helmet, the strange kind of goggles?
I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
I love the way they flip down from the front of the helmet rather than like they're strapped on with a a strap, or they're like glasses when you hold them over your nose. It's like typical Star Wars take on something rudimentary from our universe.
Yeah, it is. What's the one of you will be able to. I bet you Chordy can. What's the kind of logic of why he's this fantastic pilot at only however old he is? Is he about 8 or 9 years old? I don't know.
Because
Childlike reflexes,
virgins
I don't know.
in childlike reflexes. No, he's the virgins in the Force. He's the chosen one. He's got the Jedi reflexes, as Qui-Gon explains to us. So the reason he's so good is that he sees things before they happen, which makes him seem like he has incredibly fast reflexes.
I always thought, thank you for that, Jordy. I always thought I couldn't quite get my head around that there's this huge stadium, Coliseum-like stadium, packed to the rafters, although there are no rafters, but you know what I mean. But they only see about 1 second of the pod races. So
Really, but this is my reason for never ever going to watch, say, Formula One, because the same problem abounds. I don't understand. I much prefer watching pod racing to Formula One because cars bore me. I only watch it for the crashes, which is actually something George Lucas I think understood, because the crashes are some of the most entertaining bits of the pod race sequence. But people, I don't know, they go there because they like the atmosphere, they like seeing it, they get to watch along on TV, although they could be at home doing it and it'd be much cheaper and they'd have a better view, but, apparently people like this kind of thing.
Yes, not for me, the old F1, I'm afraid. But as for pod racing, I'm well up for that. And this is little Annie, rather long fingernails there, isn't he? He could do with giving those a little trim. He's trying to get his vehicle going. Nice, he did go a little bit crazy on the CGI, but this is a nice kind of retro dashboard. What do you think, Brownie? You digging the dashboard features?
Practical effects, always good in my book. Looks really good. Looks properly kind of lived in, yes. Really good.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Some heavy fighter pilot influences going on, I think.
Yeah.
He doesn't
does
just
have very
yank
long-
a random piece of technology out and say, I bypassed it, and then it works again. So they actually, they try and make sure that it does feel like a proper mechanical device that you have to, play around with to get it to
Yeah, it
function.
does. Everything looks functional, doesn't it? You got to admit.
Yeah. It's just so much nicer when you know that they're on the set, they're in the piece of kit, the buttons actually are pressable. It's all been properly designed. You can feel yourself touching them in a non-creepy way.
Plus, they've got the insignia badges from the soldiers later on. The Imperial officers.
Yeah. Nice bit of exposed wiring as well, letting us know it's kind of a homemade kind of thing. And there's Warwick Davis, isn't he, having a right old time? And his name slipped me. It's little Annie's master. What's his name?
Watto.
Watto.
I was trying to think of some sort of Jew joke, but then I thought I don't really want to get us demonetized. So.
Oh, well, you've hopefully caught yourself there. Well done, Geordie. Why is Warwick looking so pleased?
Probably
Just
most
the
money
new-
he's seen in a long time, I should think.
Yeah.
He's Watto's friend. They're taking the piss out of Annie because lol, he's shit. Can't even get it going.
If only Warwick knew what was going to happen with Willow on Disney Plus, he wouldn't look so damn happy with himself, would he? So Annie's struggling here, and I always felt watching this, how the hell will he make up this distance? Because the others are well gone at this point. The chat are already having a bit of fun at the expense of Warwick there. Get his hand up. What's her bum? And these are Annie's friends, aren't they? Who look pretty distraught. Do we know the names of these little chaps? The little
No.
Greedo characters? So we need Z, isn't it? No. Okay.
I know the kid's called. Oh God, I did know the name of the kid. Brian might know it.
Doesn't the kid appear in memes? I've seen him in like memes, various memes. Or am I getting confused? I think when they're holding Anakin aloft and this kid's... Oh, I don't know. Schofield references in the chat. I do love it. Okay, we see some of the paintwork here, but he's really struggling with this poddy, isn't he?
I don't understand how they work. Why have they got the big kind of engines on, like, leads?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Well, they are just two massive engines which are linked by the power coupling at the front, and then they're kind of like chariots. It's a mix between chariot racing and Formula One, which I think is probably what George Lucas was going for, because they are basically horses pulling the chariot, but sci-fi.
Okay.
And the whole sequence gets a bit of stick because it does go on for a long ass time, but I don't know. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for pod racing. Maybe it is because I spent so many months growing up playing with all the toys that came out, inevitably as a result. But it does, this is all going into creating a properly lived-in universe. This is a society. The society has bread and circuses. It's seeing what people do in their spare time. And, you can see its clear real-world inspirations, but the way it's been sort of imagined together and then put forward onto the screen, I think, is an example of, it's good innovation in Star Wars. Could it have been shorter? Yes, probably could. But would I be without it entirely? Absolutely not.
Here you go. Ben-Hur in space.
Yeah, good shout. It does have that feel. Thank you to Gavin. He always sends a super sticker brownie, doesn't he?
Cheers, Gavin.
Thank you, Gavin. So we've got, I believe, Ben Quadraneros. Is that if I've got his name right there?
Quadranero, yeah, I think that's the one. And they named him that because his pod racer just happens to have 4 engines, and that's just how Star Wars
Square
names
head,
work.
doesn't he?
Also that.
Very, very strange looking head, yes. I'm not one to talk, obviously, but... and there's the family looking on, rather concerned. We got stuck into Jar Jar last week, but now we've got Chordy on with us. What are your thoughts on Jar Jar, Chordy? Did you like him at the time? Did you hate him at the time? Has he grown on you over the years? What do you think?
No. No, I didn't like him at the time. I've never liked him. I don't like him now. I don't think I ever will like him. Does he get maybe an irrational degree of hatred from some quarters? Maybe, I guess. But then it's one of it's the problem with the overall emotional tone of the film is that Jar Jar just provides this very, very thick rubber band. So the moment you might be getting invested in a scene, you cut away to this absolute idiot who George Lucas only put there because he thought, hey, the kids will like this. Notably, something he didn't do in A New Hope or in Empire Strikes Back. It's more of the Ewok problem that comes in. The only thing that really undermines Return of the Jedi is George Lucas's temptation to try and play down to the worst estimations of kids. So, yeah, Jar Jar is incredibly regrettable. But at least he passes the emergency act that creates the clone army that presumably gets the Gungans genocided at some point in galactic history. So he comes good in the end.
If you'd show me that previous slide back when the special editions came out, before we knew anything about prequels, I probably would have said, what the fuck is this? Space University Challenge?
Yes. And just a little shout to Dick and Balls, who says they should have called this movie Jar Jar Binks and the Two Jedi Twins. You might as well have a drink, man, baby.
Look who's here, everybody.
Oh, it's Z.
I'm very sorry. All this excitement overloaded my circuits and took me offline for a little bit.
Oh, that's okay, Z. We thought Schofield had got to you. I'm glad you're okay, though.
Oh, no, I'm fine. Thank you, Susan.
Well, you've missed all the fun. We were doing pod racer names at the start, Z, and we really got stuck on that for a good while because we're having lots of fun with the chat. But you've not missed much because Annie's struggling to get his pod going.
Oh no, he stalled.
Z, what's your, now that we've got someone with a bit of knowledge on the panels, sorry to my fellow retrobates, but Z, what's your knowledge on all the pod races? Because Chordy was describing his favourite one and none of us could identify who it was. I don't know if you heard it or...
Did he say that the engines were backwards or something like that, where they looked like they were backwards? Was that it, Lord?
No, it's a really boring looking pod. It's got two cylindrical engines. The distinctive bit is that the cockpit is it's a circle that he sits in, but he can't actually see through the front of it because the circle is sort of
I know it is.
looking down his line of sight. But I can't remember the guy's name. I wouldn't say he's necessarily my favorite, but it's the pod racer I always used on the N64 game, so it kind of sticks in my mind.
Go on, Z. Go on.
I have no idea who that is.
Oh. Have you got it, Swappers?
I looked it up. His name is Teamto Pagales.
Oh.
One of the most memorable characters in the entire franchise.
Wow.
I have the action figure.
My favorite, I think, was Morhonic. That's his name. He's like Madonna or Prince. He's just got one name. That's it.
We have number one with no avatar in the chat who says Jar Jar was the worst decision in cinema history. Wow.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but it wasn't a good decision by any means. I don't know anyone at all who likes Jar Jar Binks. Even people who were sort of growing up with this around the time.
Not even his mum.
I grew up with it. Not even his mum. But no one I know likes him. No one I know who's young likes him. I've never met a kid who likes him. It's such a.
It just takes you out of the movie.
Yes, it was his own mother that kicked him out of the Gungan city.
It just looks so computerized. It just takes you out.
Lord MJ in the chat suggests you have a foot fetish. Is that?
Well, I mean, that's fetish spelled with two T's. Maybe Foot Fet is one of Django's brothers. Either way, I don't have one. So.
Oh, we want to see Foot Fet in the next series of the Book of Boba Fett. I can't wait. I tried, MJ. I tried. We're still waiting for him to give us a bit of a low ASMR, but I'm sure he's working on it. Don't worry. So Annie's got his pod going, I believe, and there's Z. Joe, just in time for your first appearance of the night. Z, still butt naked.
Look at me, aren't I fantastic?
Yes. And Brownie, you better get your ass back on here because you've got a $10 super chat.
Oh, here we go. From, is it Psycho Stumpy for $10? I liked Jar Jar as a kid, but in my defense, I was 4 and I am American.
Oh, we won't tell that against you, Psycho Stumpy. But yeah, I think, it's a fair point. I think he was made to appeal to the young audience members, Jar Jar, wasn't he?
Well, like the politics.
Well, yes, like the trade disputes.
George Lucas, I want to make a film that kids can enjoy. Also, George Lucas, we're going to genocide the kids. Which of these? Which angle are you pushing here, George? It has to be one or the other, I think. Yeah.
Yes. But we're off, and Annie's in the race. We're so glad to have him back in the race, and they appear to be watching on some
iPad. There you go.
It's an iPad, isn't it? It's a 1999 version of an iPad.
Well, they're playing Star Wars Racer Revenge on the Switch because it's more interesting than watching the nothing in front of them for most of this race.
Do we think this is how all of the audience are watching, or is it just special privileges for the family of the races? I don't know.
White privilege.
Yeah, maybe. Brownie, week 13 says you're right.
Oh, cheers.
CGI takes you out of the film I was done with this film before we even got to the pod race. So, but we're glad you stuck with us week 13.
It's a shame, really, because there is a good film in here somewhere.
Yeah, no, it has some really, really, really high moments. And I don't even think, with the exception of Jar Jar, who is an incredibly low moment, I don't think this film's lows are really that objectionable. So overall, I mean, I still enjoy watching the film for all its many flaws.
His eyes look like peen eyes.
What breed is this creature? I know he's 3 years, isn't he? Although this might not. I don't think this is him, but we know him from the originals 3 years. But does he have a?
He's a Gran.
Oh, okay.
Gran.
Oh,
apparently.
really?
Yep.
Have I misgendered him? Okay, so this
All dick eyes, according to Max JJ in the chat.
All that. Yeah, all that.
Yeah, it's very good, Max.
I mean, we used to call Walrus Man Bumface, so why not?
Bum face and dick eyes. Oh, they make such a good wingmen for each other.
Oh, sorry.
Wouldn't they? Oh, Brownie, get your
I'll do it. Sorry.
sausage
There you go.
fingers.
Dick eyes.
There we go, dick eyes. Love the avatar, Max, as
Yeah,
well.
JJ Abrams.
And this is Sebulba. Am I right? This is Sebulba, isn't it?
It is
Yeah.
Sebulba always felt like he was kind of all over the bloody shop. He's just like he's clinging on. He's all arms and limbs, and I don't know what made Sebulba so good. I mean, look at his eyeballs there. He looks out of control. What do we think of Sebulba's pod racer?
It's got some pretty hefty engines, isn't it?
Yes.
Look
I remember
at the
the-
lines on that.
Yeah, the Incredible Cross Sections book said it was something. It was called something like the Split X design or something like that. What a useless information that is. I thought I'd let you know.
And it looks like we've lost our first pod racer, doesn't it? Bit of a
Yeah, I
collision,
do like that murder is an acceptable part of the sport, given that it's all on camera, everyone's watching,
including the families.
including
And
the
there's
family.
children
You actually
racing.
see them later on, don't you? There's the family of one of the people who die. It's the wife and the kids just scurrying off, looking really sad. But it's Tatooine, it's the Outer Rim. I guess the law doesn't apply.
Outer Rim. Z, super chat for you, mate. Do you want to read it?
Of course. Garth Knight in the chat says for $4.99. Z, I will always appreciate preteen human pod racers with chimney sweeps. Thanks to you.
Preteen human pod racers.
That was a comment from last week. Very good.
Dodgy territory there. What do we think before I move on? What do we think of these kind of point of view shots from the pods, as though you're in the pod? Famously,
I like them.
What's that? See,
I like them. It's
You
like
like
you're right. It's like you're right there, isn't it?
yeah. It's reminds me obviously of the biker scout scene in Return of the Jedi. We got some similar
Now,
POV
which do
shots.
you
there,
prefer,
didn't we?
this or the speeder bikes?
Speeder bikes for me, but man of a certain age, you know. It just lent itself. It was screaming out, and Chordy was saying, I think in the green room rather than live stream, Chordy was saying you had the game for the Nintendo game, was it?
Yeah, there was the one on the N64, which is Star Wars Pod Racer, and then there was the one that came out, I think, on the PS2, which is Racer Revenge, which I never owned, I don't think. But the N64 one was fun. It was so fast that you couldn't really play it.
Yeah, it felt like, I remember watching it at the time thinking, feels like it's screaming out to be a computer game.
Yeah, and it was a really good idea, but the disappointing thing with the game is that the physics engine couldn't keep up. So, you were going too fast for you to really handle corners anyway, so you used to crashing. But also, the actual pod race in the film makes such a big deal about the clashes and Sebulba ramming people into walls or flashing them with the vents. But as far as I recall in the game, if you hit somebody else, you would just go through them because the N64 couldn't actually handle that sort of mechanic, which kind of took some of the fun out of it, really. But
I did have the Game Boy Color game, the Star Wars Racer, which was a top-down view, really extended cartridge that required a battery. I've still got it somewhere. Hasn't worked in years. Let's dig it out. Give it a go. Brush it off.
Yes, I'm sure you can use your skills on it, Z, to get it back working again, like you did for the R2. Vex Electronica says, "My lord, there are some sexed talking PFPs in this stream. What's a PFP, anyone?"
Profile picture? I'm sure it means something else. I don't actually know.
Picture. You're gonna have to help us out, Vex. We don't quite get it, but yeah, we'll wait for your clarification on that one. RAP Calculon and the pod racers. We're right deep inside the crack here. Take another drink, folks. And it's obviously hard to understand the running order here, but I think Anakin's still at the back or fairly far behind, isn't he? Yeah.
Lap one, right at the back. Is bringing up the rear.
No.
That was one of the slightly annoying things, though, because it's only really emphasized when they do the top-down shots, when they emphasize how fast his pod is compared to everybody else's. But the problem is that also made it slightly uncanny, because when it needs to be, it really is so much faster than everybody else's. He'll overtake 2, 3, 4 in a row, and he's caught up with the front within the space of a lap. But then when he gets to the front, it's like Mario Kart. The person in player 8 position gets sped up by the computer to give them a fighting chance, and then when they reach the front, it goes back to normal speed again. It's like that with this. He gets to the front, and then he's matching speed, which is slightly annoying, just because, yeah, I mean, you have to kind of look a bit more closely, I guess, to find issue with that, but it is still a bit glitchy. He's funny. He makes the best noise. He goes, he's flying toward the wall, and he goes something like, and then he dies.
Oh,
and
no.
that's his one line in the film.
Oh, what a shame. What an interesting looking chap, but rather stumpy fingers, but...
I think it's his wife and kids you see really sad later on.
Oh, and that's it. That's his final moments. Oh, dear. Still...
Can't
put
win
his
them all.
life on the line. Yes. So the other thing I used to think when I was watching this as a younger person is the track as such isn't clearly marked out, is it? It just feels like they're following.
It's a rip-off of either Brooklyn's or is it the Indy 500? What's the track in America?
All right.
It's probably more Brooklyn.
One of our Americans will know, I bet you.
Is it Indianapolis?
This is an interesting part, isn't it? Swappers, let's hear from you. Talk us through this, if you would. What the hell's going on, and who are these people who've appeared? Swapper's gone the bog again.
He's gone. But the Tuscans have arrived, and I always thought this is something that would make me watch Formula One, is if you were allowed to have people on balconies shooting at them as they drove past. That would make car racing so much more exciting.
Yeah, they're all waiting to pick off the racers, aren't they? So they can steal their stuff, like they did with Luke in the original movie, I think.
Here you go, folks. John Z. Indy 500 is in Indianapolis, and the Daytona 500 is in Florida.
Thank you, John. And there we go, taking pop shots at the pod racers. I mean, what nasty folk the Sand people are.
It's for their amusement.
Yeah, I never got the impression they wanted anything else out of it. I don't think they were destroying them to steal things from them. I think they're just being dicks and enjoying it.
Yeah.
They're the pod race equivalent of shit posters.
It's George Lucas trying to make out how horrible people Sand people are, because the Book of Boba Fett series tried to change that around, didn't it? Tried to redeem them, but we all know that there are.
Tuscanophobia.
Z, you available to read a super chat?
Garth Knight for $4.99 says, "I'm happier we're watching the pod race. Rip Robot Head. I'm glad we're watching this pod race and not this pod race in The Mandalorian."
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same pod race.
Mm-hmm. Moving on.
I'm meeting a
stream killer.
I was eating a Whisper bar. Do forgive me.
Sorry.
Back to the concerned family,
God.
and I don't know. The iPad thing doesn't look as impressive from the rear view, does
No.
it? It looks like Moses' tablet or something. I know.
Every time I see Jar Jar, it just.
How old is Natalie Portman in this movie, Brown?
I believe she's 18. Though the character in the tie-in novel was 14.
Oh. But the actress is 18.
I think she was 18 in this.
Gosh, she looks young there.
Oh,
She was 16 years old when she starred in The Phantom Menace.
okay.
Oh, was she?
Mm.
We'll leave it alone then, Brown.
Oh, 18.
We did
When it
that
was
gag
released.
last week.
18
do it
was
every
released to her.
Yeah.
Because it's
So
also
is this
hasn't it got
now-
the uncredited role for Keira Knightley as well as her double, and she must have been only about 14 at the time as well.
There you go, MJ. 18 at the time.
18. Okay.
Dark Side 13 in Leon.
Mm. And the Tusken Raiders are cheering here. Did they pick someone off?
They
Yeah,
hit
they
somebody,
shoot.
yes.
They hit.
They
Yeah.
might even shoot the guy I was talking about. I think they might hit him. Because I vaguely recall his weird little cockpit goes flying and spinning away because it's a circle.
Oh, disgraceful. So the rest of the field continue in the race. We don't know who's leading unless is this the
Sebulba
front
all the way. Sebulba leads
yeah.
all the way through the race, with the
Oh, he was
exception of when
robbed.
Anakin overtakes.
Shots like this look really good, but as soon as you see Rune, just go back one.
Yeah. That's set you right up there tonight.
Shots like that look really good, and then you get just as you're getting into it, next frame. Oh Christ!
You don't like him, Brown, no?
Just dog shit.
Ben
Brown is going to
Quadranero.
be the mega geek for tonight. What's he? Is he just been overtaken, or is his vehicle broken down? What's the?
He's the one who's been stuck since the start, trying to get his
Oh.
engines working. I think, isn't he? Yeah, because then
Yes,
one of
yes,
the pit
yeah.
droids runs into it because he's an idiot. Oh no, that's the other guy. I get them all confused. His power coupling is about to break, and then his engines will go
Explode,
flying
yeah.
off, and then he gets almost killed.
I remember that bit now. Yeah, they kind of fly off, don't they? And sort
Yeah,
of
it flies off.
explode when they hit things. Yeah, great design though.
And this is the shot of the. Is this the engine kind of?
Yeah, the engine
flying
going into the
air?
atmosphere.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh,
So
there he
here
is.
you go. This is a good Psycho Stumpy. This is a good trading places joke. Look at that escargot. Moving on. Ruin, are you eating?
No, I'm talking and I've got the mute on. Yes, I was. I'm talking away, doing gags, and
You're
no one can
muting
hear
your
me.
Pill.
I was discreetly trying to squash down a Whisper Gold bar because I'm absolutely starving. I didn't get time to eat before the stream, and let's do like a Whisper Gold, man, babies. Who's this guy with the horn for a beard, or looking rather perturbed? No one knows.
No idea.
Pass.
No.
No, we don't know. I'm sure he could put that horn to good use, though.
Do you think Lucas went to town a bit too much on the aliens? Because I do.
I don't
I think
know. I think maybe slightly for some of them, there's always the complaints with the overuse of CGI in the prequels.
Yeah.
With some of them, you can see why it was necessary. I don't really think you could have done Sebulba in any other way. But if you compare it to what we have now, which is Star Wars planets which are so homogeneously human that they barely look alien at all, I'd rather have George Lucas going a little bit too far with CGI to actually create a really, really colourful and vibrant population like we see on this version of Tatooine, versus the Tatooine we see today, which is just miserable-looking people about to be beheaded by Reaver.
When you're ready, Ruin.
It's cool. No, we've been here for 50 minutes and we've done 2 laps of pod race. We can actually gauge our progress according to the slides. I thought that was the light going up at the bottom there to say it's on lap 2.
Is it?
Oh, no,
Okay.
no, you're right. We've done 1 lap. We're on to lap 2. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's the
Okay,
lap
not
mark.
as good as I thought.
Now, this is pod racing.
I've got a duo bar, so I'm just trying to finish it off. Who's
This
this
is
chap?
the guy whose pit droids are about to fuck up his life massively. I don't remember his name, though.
Odie Mandrell.
That's the one.
Nice.
And yeah, he sits
Pulls in
around.
for a pit stop, swallows up a pit droid, blows up.
Should have had a reach around.
Are they his pit droids, or do you lease pit droids on
I think there
Tatooine? Because
is.
if you did, then he could sue the person who gave him the pit droids for all their worth, because they just ruined his race.
How would a pit droid survive going through that?
They're designed for it for some reason.
Yes, it's in the name. Pit droid.
Is that an R2 unit off to the left there?
Oh, yeah.
Covered in
Yeah.
dust.
Yeah.
Does appear to be.
Yeah. Never noticed that.
Yeah, there we go.
It's like that famous, I think, apocryphal scene in is it Alice in Wonderland, where rumor has it, I think it's disproven now, in the far background you can see a dwarf hanging from a tree because he's really depressed. Maybe that's an R2 unit that's just sort of killed itself on the scene because of all the fucking pod racing. So there's some guy inside that who's been sitting there while they filmed the entire thing. It's just like it goes on and it goes on, and he just dies.
Not Brian, who has dropped off the stream, but he is in the chat and he's there to drop some knowledge. He says the alien with the horn on his chin is Horax Rider.
Ooh.
There you go. So thank you, Brian, for your knowledge. I'm sure you didn't make that up. I hope you didn't. And who have we got here? Is this same guy with the pit droid problem?
Yeah, we're still
Right.
there.
Oh, he's about to go very wrong. Oh, and we have a little shot of well, a Huttese,
Jabba.
and is he eating these things?
No, he flicks it off
Oh,
to its doom. Imagine if you had.
Went out.
Yes, imagine you were sitting on the top of a bridge, and right next to you, a little collection of gerbils. And he just threw one off the side of the bridge. That's basically what he's doing here.
oh.
Don't ask me
Cruel
what I'm doing on
bastard.
top of a bridge with gerbils. I'll deny the entire incident.
Well, it is Pride Month.
How much did Liam Neeson enjoy doing these scenes, do we think? He's basically just... I mean, it's a shame we haven't got Mega Geek on, because I always like his director's input, but obviously they're not looking at anything in particular, but how do you imagine they directed it? I mean, they've got... I mean, is it Ahmed Best wearing the kind of... The green outfits, and then the others with all the CGI around them are looking at... I don't know, a fixed point, a chair, it's all...
Yeah, I mean, there might be a little board on a string or something they usually use. If I remember rightly from the behind-the-scenes stuff, Ahmed Best's costume is... so the eyes are kind of real in that he wears a hat with the eyes on them, and that gives the audience... the characters interacting with him their eye line, so that's where they look. And everything below the eye line is just entirely CGI. He's just wearing a green suit
My
with weird
cat
little balls on it.
likes a ball on a string.
Oh.
Should have been cast in this movie. Yeah?
Actors, cats, basically the same thing.
Lord Jord, good chance for you to practice your gravelly ASMR voice. Could you read Smilex's contribution out, please?
I kind of want to know how he knows this, but apparently, from Smilex, Liam Neeson's cock is so big that he's probably screwing someone on the back row right now.
We always go to the bottom of the barrel, don't we?
You do.
Yes, and we do love it. Thank you, Smilex.
Is he
hey, we're
known
pushing.
for having a massive dick?
He actually is
Is
known
he?
for that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't believe you didn't know.
Let me go and check that. How long is Liam Neeson's?
Wanger.
Can we have some serious guesses in the chat, please? I'll take it in English, in inches, please. In inches for all you dirty Americans. What
It's
are
a
your
whopper.
guesses? And Z will confirm
Holy
the answer
crap.
shortly.
Janice Dickinson praised her former Irish actor lover, stating that the Batman Begins actor has the biggest penis of any man alive.
Is her name really Dickinson as well?
Janice Dickinson, yeah.
Okay.
Janice Dickinson, she went out with him, right? Okay. Yeah, wait. 24
Can we get back on
inches.
track, please?
No, we've got an important issue to discuss here. But
Your
Fiona,
favourite look. Go on.
Princess Fiona, hello to you.
There's one article here that says it's 11.5 inches long.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
This is
mine's
definitely more
12, but I
child-friendly
don't use
screen.
it as rule. But there you go, moving on.
Princess Fiona with the first Lizzo joke of the night. So take a drink for that, if
Liam's
you would.
cock is so big it almost reaches Lizzo's wag.
And I just want to say a big hello to
I know you'd say this.
Nikki Relihan, who says, Ruin is the greatest Star Wars director ever. George is shite compared to the great Ruin. Thank you, Nikki. You're my favorite man, baby. Do appreciate that. So we've got a nice little shot of the droids and Anakin's friends. Z, when are you going to put some clothes on? Will we get to see you with your golden overalls on at some point?
No, not until the next film.
Oh, okay. So
if you look to the left, it's one of
November.
those aliens from what was the last Star Wars series?
Mando Series 3.
Yeah, the
Pilot
Yeah.
type dudes. Yeah, you're right. You're getting good with this stuff, Brownie.
we're getting there. Yeah,
Yeah.
not as good as you
yes.
boys, but I'm trying.
Well, here's Anakin looking to make up some ground. And nice. No, you don't like this, but well, maybe the execution, but I like the idea. I like the idea of, see, are they selling snacks? Like little alien snacks?
Jaguar's earlobes, wolf nipple chips,
Get
badger
your crispy
spleens,
critters.
wolf nipple chips. Get them all. They're lovely. Moving on.
Oh, I like those little references. Oh, we've got a close-up of Z's crotch, everyone, and let's just say he's not rocking a Liam Neeson. Let's put it that way. There's not a
You
lot
can see
going
in my
on
crotch area, there's a little thing there where you attach my golden rod. It just plugs into that section.
there. Oh.
Is that why there's heavy duty wiring around that section?
That's for the vibrate function, sir.
Oh my god. Is it ribbed for Uncle Owen's pleasure?
One of them is. They are replaceable.
R2's just the right height to do a bit of damage there, isn't he? So, can we just give a little acknowledgement to the beauty of the design of R2D2? And sorry, Z, to move on to your sidekick, but here's just the simple beauty of the dome head and the single eye. We're all fond of R2's design.
It's become iconically recognizable, hasn't it? The face, if you can call it a face of the droid, it's kind of synonymous with Star Wars now. Whenever you see that, immediately you know.
Not Disney Star Wars, because he was put under a tarpaulin for
Yes.
3 films.
And ripped off to make a beach ball with a head on it. Yeah.
Not Brian in the chat. C-3PO's parts are up to 80 years old in the Phantom Menace. So you're already 80 here, Z.
What?
I don't
Wow.
feel a day over 65.
I never knew that. So really rocking some old parts there, Z. Z, is it a case that you almost become like Trigger's brush of Only Fools and Horses? Do you have that much replaced that there's none of the original parts there?
I am the droid of Theseus.
Oh, there we go. Everyone Google that reference. Garth Knight, who was it's payday for Garth, and he's spending it all on the Brownie live stream. He says, The Last Jedi made people think about I'm not sure I want to read the rest. About how good the other movies were. Ryan made that happen. Well, you stitched
You
me
did?
right up there, Garth. Yes, I'm going off you, but we thank you. We're up to 100 man babies in the stream,
Get
all
in.
here.
Nice.
Yeah, beautiful.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Oh, we're so pleased to have you here. And we get back into the pod race because we're determined to at least finish this segment in the movie. Did anyone feel genuine peril for Anakin? Did anyone think he might not win, or was it fairly obvious?
No, I've seen the original trilogy. I know he lives.
That would have been a huge twist, wouldn't it?
That'd have been if Disney had made it. It would have been yes. Oh God, look at that.
Is that a good look at that or a bad look at that? I just want to wring his neck.
Can I go full screen with that?
Yeah.
He's got a neck like Liam
What?
Neeson's dong, hasn't he? Yes.
Or Phoebe from Friends, maybe. Or Admiral Holdo.
Does anybody
Oh,
like
yes,
that?
he has got a bit of the he's got a little bit of the Holdos, yeah.
Anybody in the chat? Anybody like that, or is that just an alien too far?
I've got no problems with that.
No.
No.
No
I mean,
problem
I
with
would have
Marvo.
preferred animatronics over the CG, but I love the designs of everything in this film.
It's good as well because it's not just, well, he has forearms to make him look alien. It's forearms, and the pod race is designed to make use of forearms as well. So you see him using them all. You know, he's got two to control. He's got that really, really irritating, for anyone else's perspective, little computer system that allows him to block people trying to get past him, which would just make me want to kill him. But no, I like the way they titrated that into the world. That's pretty good.
Diverse. There's some people liking it. It's a bit of a Marmite.
Well, it does work for him because he finishes second.
Oh, spoiler alert, Z. God, we're going to put some bets on this race. Do we have swappers available to read out? I've got to find it again now because the chat's on bloody fire. Here you go, swappers. Could you give this your best Palpatine, please?
MJ UK 84 in the chat says,
That's how many hands it takes to wank Liam.
Oh, it's so childish, and we've lost 6 people just because of that. But it was worth it. I don't mind. We've still got the best ones here. So we are now looking. Is this cockpit view? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crotch pit view. Yes.
Cockpit view. Yes. And this is, well, I don't know who these pod racers are. There's some beefy engines on the rear one, aren't there?
That's Anakin's one.
He's trying to overtake.
Oh, is Anakin doing a trying a move?
He's trying to overtake, and little guy in the other one has the computer thing that sort of tracks him and makes him unable to pass him. Except it doesn't work very well because he manages it anyway. But you know,
is all this rendered? All of it. You know, like on Return of the Jedi, this bloke on a Steadicam walked for 15 miles through the forest.
Yeah.
Is all this rendered? Because it just looks too video game for me.
Yeah.
it's a little bit. I think,
tad,
but then again, there's the sequence to compare it with in Attack of the Clones when Anakin is on the speeder bike going toward the Tusken village, which looks way more CGI rendered than this does. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if this is maybe a mix of rendered and real world.
I wonder. I mean, Z might know where would it have been shot. Z, these scenes, or
this scene is in Beggar's Canyon, sir.
Oh, I know it well.
I don't think George Lucas was running around Tunisia with a camera going meow.
Meow.
Then again, I wouldn't put it past him.
No, but this the pod race scene was filmed in Tunisia.
Oh, Tunisia, yeah. There we go. Is this Sebulba throwing his lightsaber away? Is that what's going on here?
He throws like a spanner away, which goes where you'll see what happens next. Because it's the guy who's trying to overtake.
He's literally putting a spanner in the works.
Yes.
Oh, what a tricky little move he's pulled there.
Oh, this guy also has a really great noise. He goes, and then he dies.
Has he got a blindfold?
It's a condom.
Oh, poor chap. There we go. There's his final moments. We're seeing so much death and misery here, and I'm enjoying it so much.
Some of this did look good. The explosions. I thought, okay, it looked pretty good. Considering it was 25 years ago.
And how long was this entire segment, the pod race? Because it did feel...
It went on for a while, yes.
It feel like it went on longer than it needed to. I mean, that's rich coming from us, but...
Well, I think that's the big problem with this film. It's just a little bit too self-indulgent in places. Somebody, as we said, somebody should have said to George, just lose a couple of minutes there. Bit too long there, George.
Smilex thinks Sebulba has the best sounding pod.
Oh, it does. There's the bit later on when he's chasing Anakin down. That's the one. That's a really powerful.
Is it Ben Burt? Ben Burt?
Yeah.
He's the audio.
Anakin sounds like an F1 car. I really like that.
Yeah, really good.
It's all getting very dangerous for little Annie. Not quite sure what we're looking at, but it's
this is where the power coupling comes off.
Ah, okay. Oh no.
So the pod thing starts going upside down and all about.
It's losing stability.
So has he got some form of anti-grav?
Well, I mean, most Star Wars floaty things use something called repulsor lift. I don't know if that's true of pod racers.
Oh, okay.
That is true.
And we talked about these guys last week, obviously. These are the two commentators, one of which was Greg Proops. I can't remember the other one, but someone...
Greg Proops.
Yeah, new in the chat last time. What's all the screens and things that got going on behind then? It looks like there could be sort of pod racer information.
So you've got Sebulba's pod on the back, so I'm guessing it's tracking the leader in the race or stats for particular pods or like cam views from certain ones.
Did you? What do you think of these commentators, Chordy? We had a little chat about it last week.
I thought they were fairly innovative in terms of design. I have no real thoughts on them. I think they add some colour to the proceedings.
So what happens if one of these heads wants to go on a date and then they bring the date back home and it gets a little bit jiggy? I mean, what's the other one doing? Is he just literally lying there? Is he getting involved? Am I overthinking this a little bit?
Well, maybe they're both in a relationship with a creature that has two penises.
Wow. Liam Neeson can probably satisfy them on his own, apparently.
You could have the wrong sexuality. They might be,
asexual.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Jay Goodwin, do they have to share a soul?
Oh, jeez.
That's deep. That's so deep, Jay, and I love it. Thank you. Don't ever ask a question like that again. Not so much love in the chat for the commentators. Brian's not a fan. Franco's not a fan. But okay.
The mother on this scene, terrified. about a son.
She looks bored.
And you've got that great idiotic lump to the left.
That's not a nice thing to say about Natalie Portman.
My left.
I am enjoying the Liam Neeson dick jokes in the chat. Well done, keeping those going. So, are we still on the second lap?
Yeah, we're on the second lap. I think we're still at the point where he's trying to get his engine back, so he's being overtaken by people because half of his pod isn't connected to the other half anymore. I thought this entire bit is sort of longing out needlessly to drum up stakes and tension. So there's no we're not learning anything about Anakin's abilities from this, because we already know he has the reflexes, we already know he's ingenious, we already know he's got the technological ability. All this really does is try and make us give more of a shit about what's going on by presenting some sort of peril. As he points out, we already know he can't die, so it's a little bit pointless and needless. And if George Lucas is thinking, well, maybe the race is dragging on too long, so I need to insert some sort of, interruption that drums up tension, well, the answer to that is make your race shorter. You don't have to include this random crap along.
Did we think at the time, did we realise at the time in 99 that, he can't die?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How old were you?
I don't even know. I wasn't in double figures at this point.
And you knew, and I didn't even think about it. And
we
I
know
was
that,
a grown-up adult of 31.
But we know that Vader is called Anakin Skywalker, so unless there are two of them in the galaxy, he can't die.
Yeah. Moving on.
I know someone in the chat suggested he's using the Force in that scene. I didn't get that impression. I thought that was some sort of magnetic device. I mean, it would be different if he is in fact using the Force, and that's just a random piece of thing that he's holding. Then that would be telling us something new about him. But that's not the read I've ever had watching that scene. But it's interesting to suggest it.
Nikki, big fan of Last Jedi, says picking out flaws in George's logic here. The engine being disconnected was, and he used a word I won't use on Brown Stream, it would have hit the ground and killed Annie.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
Well, no, because I mean, it's the thing that keeps the engines operating is the power coupling in the middle. So it's not, the power isn't coming from the cockpit, so it doesn't matter necessarily whether the cockpit is connected to keep the engines going. So you see earlier on when Ben Quadraneris' pod flies off in a million pieces, it becomes disconnected from its cockpit, but that's because the power coupling in the middle has detached. The engines are still operating. That's the thing that keeps them all together. They have an internal power source. So the engine wouldn't have dropped. The momentum and the speed would have kept the cockpit afloat, just because that's how physics works. So the power coupling is the thing that keeps that from happening, I think, and that never breaks. It almost breaks, and that's another aspect of the tension they try to build. But the reason he's reattaching it is, again, to reestablish control over that, and then it's fine, really. I still think it's needless, but it's not quite as physically balked as that.
Nice little shots of the screen with some what's the Z will know. What's the language called, Z? The inscriptions there?
It doesn't look like Orbrush.
Oh, right.
So I don't know.
Is it visual Hutties, maybe?
Could be.
I'll get you two.
No. Ooh, get a room. So we're back in the crack. Back in the crack first.
Looking at that, the passageway, the rocks and stuff, that's real. But the engines at the front, it's something it's not quite lit correctly.
I think I'd have read that the other way around. I would have thought the canyon in that situation
Really?
is fake and the engines are static, and what you've basically got is the physical set. Kind of like what they did with the speeder bikes when you had the undershot view of that. You have the practical effects, and then you have the green screen throwing scenery at you. That would have been what I would guess they'd have done, but maybe it's reversed and you're right, I don't know.
Swappers, are you available for another bit of Palpatine on Smilex's comments? He's on exceptional form this evening.
Smilex in the chat says, the second biggest crack I've seen since the Lizzo episode.
Oh, very good, Smilex. Body positivity, though. Let's all be positive.
Here you go. Jay Goodwin says what you said, Lord. With that, isn't it? Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
Interesting. Maybe get some clarification. Maybe Brian could get onto that.
Could have saved a lot of budget on the CG by getting Lizzo, though, couldn't they?
Was she born? Probably not.
Maybe a mum's bum might have been bigger.
So Annie is still trying to get his way to the front of the pack, isn't he? And as we go round again, we get these goddamn sand people taking pop shots at our racers.
This is the moment when my pod racer gets destroyed, not the one earlier.
Is,
so
yes.
yeah, he's about to die. Not that I really care about him, but I thought the design was kind of fun at the time.
But remember, everybody, sand people are just misunderstood.
It's a cultural thing. I thought this is Anakin. Does Anakin get a shot here? That looks like Anakin's pod.
Yeah, there's one that
He was
pings off
shot.
of his cockpit and narrowly misses him. So the Tuscans almost saved the galaxy in this one particular moment. But,
See, yes, very good. See, stuff like this is good.
Yeah, John Z in the chat saying, "Look at that muzzle flash. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Obviously, the rocks are real here. The sand, yeah, it's old school, isn't it? This is an old school shot, but it feels slightly out of sync with some of the other more CGI heavy shots.
there he goes.
Oh,
Yeah.
To the best of my knowledge, this guy does not make a funny noise.
oh,
He just silently goes into the night.
oh, his little
Big
teeth,
fang.
little underbite there. Yes. Oh dear. Well, I hope you've been racking them up. How many deaths of that now? I think we're up to about 4 or 5.
This is where this alien goes, I don't care, whatever alien species, that's gotta hurt. It's like, oh, Christ.
I always thought that was believable, though. If you've ever actually listened to, say, football co-commentators, they say the most unbearably cringe things.
Okay, I'll take it back then.
But,
Top
you know,
writing there, George. Top writing.
I'm aware I'm slightly going for the She-Hulk defensive. No, it's meant to be shit, but but it's believable of commentators when you have people like Michael Owen commentating on football saying, "Well, if you don't score goals, you can't win the game." Like, how much are you paid a year? $2 million? Okay, fine.
So the crowd watch as they zoom past for, I believe, the third lap. Third and final lap.
Yay!
Little mini Greedo's looking a bit prosthetic there, isn't he?
Here you go. Oh, sorry, chat moved up. Franco Walker,
6 so
I think
far.
6 deaths so
Yeah.
far. Wow.
Thanks, Franco. He's keeping the count for us. So here we go. The final lap. Can Anakin do it? Can he become victorious and earn his freedom?
He has the opportunity here, based on the established mechanics of the race, to kill Sebulba. That previous slide. Given that he's already caught up, he's in his slipstream. He could do what Sebulba has already done to him, and he's already told everyone that Sebulba has once flashed him with his vents before. So he should have no real reason not to do this, except that he's fundamentally good and doesn't think about killing people yet. That's the only reason I can think of for him not doing that. But this is the point at which his pod racer stops being super speed because he's at the front. So now we have to manufacture stakes and tension again. So it has to be reduced to the speed of everybody else.
So he couldn't just accelerate past him and keep
Or
going.
into him, which would have killed him. But no, he just, matches him at this point.
Goth Knight is not a Greg Proops fan. He says he's the Jeff Foxworthy of British comedy. I don't know
By
Jeff
that I mean insufferable.
Fiona M with another for the name for Philip Schofield's pod racing
Oh God!
moniker. I won't read this out. Okay, so it's on. Anakin's back in the race, and we're seeing a lot of this kind of purpley lightning thing, aren't we? It's
I think this is where he tries pushing a pod or something into his engine, if I remember rightly. Or barging into him.
Yeah, Sebulba here is trying to force him into the wall. Fortunately, we've got a service ramp coming off.
Look at the size of that ship compared to the Anakin's.
They don't look as concerned as I'd expect his mother to be. She looks...
Well, she's probably taking it from Qui-Gon at the same time as watching that.
Oh, please.
I think this is where they go into the Witherspoon's bar.
I'd love for that.
Witherspoons.
I'd love that sculpted temple from the Last Crusade to be in the side of the canyon wall, and Indiana Jones just comes out as they like fly past, and pushes Sean Connery back. Watch out, Dad! That's just me, though, obviously.
So we continue on, and
Anakin's gone up the ramp because he's been forced off the course, hasn't he? He's going up the ramp.
It's a moment of peril. Can he get himself back in the race? Will he survive? Well, we know he does. Is it just now Anakin and Sebulba vying for pole position?
Pretty much, yeah. We don't really see anybody else at this point. It is just going to be their personal feud.
I do remember I was rooting for Sebulba. It's rather annoying. But
well, the galaxy could have been a very different place.
Yeah.
Probably, actually, in the utilitarian consequentialist mindset, it would have been better if Sebulba had won, and maybe even killed Anakin as well. If you could go back and beat Hitler in a pod race, would you? Yes.
Well, there's a question. There is a question for the chat.
Oh my god! Just the images in my head at the moment of dictators in Star Wars flying sci-fi races.
Can you justify killing Anakin if it saves the galaxy?
It would mean there was no episode 4, 5, and 6. They'd be wiped out of existence. It'd be the KK indie way.
Would someone fill the void, though, Brownie, of Darth Vader? Would we have...
I don't know. Do you know anybody?
Well, Maul is still alive.
Yeah, Maul is still alive, and
Maul.
Dooku is being groomed, or about to be groomed, for this position. So Palpatine would still kind of enact his plan, but it would have been a different apprentice. And events wouldn't have panned out in anything like the same way because of how pivotal Anakin is to the fall of the Jedi Order. So, you could have had a much longer Clone Wars, potentially, as a result of it, because it's basically a straight political fight at that point.
Brownie, it's at that point of the night where I'm going to say to you... Little twist on the normal gag. And answering my own question from earlier, some of them do seem to be holding the tablets, so they can view the full race. But Brownie, if you had to give one to any of the crowd...
Okay, there's one on the far left. Middle left.
Yes, green.
Looks like she's got kind of a Lizzo hat on.
Really?
Yeah, out of 10, yeah?
If you had to give 1 out of 10 to any of them,
1.
You give her 1. We presume it's a her, but you wouldn't try and mix it up with an alien, maybe. There's a bum face on the bottom row. That could be.
Yeah, I saw that. There's one who looks like Robert Downey Jr. with massive teeth.
Oh, I thought that was Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, was it?
Where's they?
He's got a dark cape or whatever it is, robe, with massive teeth.
He's got a gap in the front of his teeth as well.
Brownie, I think you've missed a trick. There's at least 2 better looking ones than the Wish Lizzo that you picked. What about the far right? Middle
I'm
row.
not into the far right.
No?
I'm more middle myself.
You're more the middle. Okay. Just right of centre then. That's more your area, isn't it?
She looks like she's wearing Rose Tico's outfit there.
Probably is.
What about the guy in the brown? He looks like he's gonna cause some shit any moment. He looked really furious.
They're all wearing
Well,
brown. What are you
yes,
talking about?
this is because Anakin Skywalker has just taken the lead.
Oh, and is the guy with the kind of flappy hands? Is he giving it the thumbs down?
Yes.
Oh,
Mittens.
Some of them are booing.
Ooh.
yeah, guy in the back there.
Speaking of booing, Z, you available to read a super chat, please?
I am. Garth Knight for $4.99 says, a co-worker told me the turn of Anakin was brilliant versus the abrupt turn myself and other Jedi saw. Anyone want to defend Anakin's quick turn?
Ooh,
No.
no. we're
Sorry,
not gonna-
I'm struggling to compute the question. What was that again?
A co-worker told me the turn of Anakin was brilliant versus the abrupt turn myself and the other Jedi saw.
It's basically, I think Gart's making the point. He didn't buy the turn of Anakin. Obviously,
I
looking
didn't.
beyond this movie, he thought it was a bit fast in the making. What do you think, Lordy? Do you think George paced it correctly? Or?
I thought that was paced about as well as you could possibly have paced it over the course of just 3 films. That's one of the most consistent. It's the one that is very clearly brought on by a set number of events that Anakin has to witness and decisions that are made around him. The Jedi Order throughout, from the beginning of this film onwards, or their first appearance in this film onwards, are portrayed to be like arrogant to the point of being hostile toward him. He's already a bit of an outcast. The master he thought he would have, the person who would be his surrogate father figure, dies at the close of this film. Spoilers. Sorry, Time Prophet, if you're in the chat. So there's that, and you go through to Attack of the Clones, and you have his sort of pent-up feelings for Padme, and Obi-Wan is not as patient a master as he should be, and he's not really ready for the role. He's doing it out of a sense of obligation rather than love for the boy. And then you go forward into the Revenge of the Sith, where he's so incredibly talented and powerful, but is still looked down upon by the people who are supposed to be the family that he's joined, and the family he lost his real family to join. So I thought, as close as is possible, that was one of the stronger elements of all 3 films. I think that was done pretty well.
Okay, well, you got your money's worth there, Franco. You got the sorry, not Franco, Girth.
I was kind of hoping
Knight.
by the time I finished speaking, the pod race would be over, but I see that
Oh,
it isn't.
no,
So
Come
we
on,
have to
Moose,
go
speed it up.
You tried your best. Well, I do want to bring in a chat because where is it? Arnold Elliott. Hello, Arnold says, "Where's a Twi'lek when you need one?" I was just wondering, Brown, if there's a Twi'lek in the crowd, would you have banged it?
Well, I don't know what it is.
You don't know what a Twi'lek is?
It's the sexy dancer alien from Jabba's palace.
Oh yes, definitely.
Definitely. Not even a moment's thought. Okay, well, we are perilously close to the end of the pod race, folks. Oh. Nikki says, I love when the Lord talks. I presume she's talking about Lord Geordie and not the higher power. I understand less than half of what I think I understand. I think it's a compliment, Lordy.
he does do that, yes.
Yes, here we go. It's crunch time in the pod race. Oh, Sebulba's screaming like the bitch he is.
You go on.
Yep.
And then again, more looks of concern. I wonder what the batteries are on these tablets. They seem to be holding up pretty well, don't they?
Solar, probably.
Come on, Annie. We know you can do it.
Come on, Ruin. We know you can do it.
Oh, okay, let's get through this. Jesus, Brown, did you take every frame in this goddamn pod race?
Most of them.
Okay. So, was he having a shit at this point? What's going on?
It's another filler sequence. We've already had the bit where his engine
There's
almost
so
falls
much of
off, and then you
this.
have that, and then you have this bit, which is where one of the engines starts to overheat, and it catches fire, so he has to slow down to transfer some magical bullshit power from one to the other, and equalize them, and that makes them work again, just in case we thought he wouldn't win. And then off we go. That haste with pace. It's fixed. We move. We progress
On.
very quickly onwards.
Yeah, it's gone green. That's it.
There we go. Green's good. Laughing at the chat because they're they're now doubting whether we're even going to get through the podcast.
I don't think we're going to do it.
We will have faith.
Oh.
Oh, it's longer than Liam Neeson's dick. This ridiculous.
We haven't even got to that bit yet. We've still got that long tension
look at
building
that
thing
idiot.
of him chasing
Look
him
at that
down.
idiot.
They're still in Beggar's Canyon.
Oh, look at that idiot.
Does he have any lines here, Jar
No.
Jar? Does he have any?
No, I don't think any of them have speaking roles at this point. It's not until very near the end. There's one or two like observations, like he caught up. Oh no.
Oh, the chat are just keep me entertained.
Sorry, chat. It does seem to be 2 hours. Sorry, chat.
So they're neck and neck, and they drive into each other, and they bash into each other, and then a bit of Sebulba's pod gets caught in a bit of Anakin's pod, and they get tied together.
It's like that bit in Return of the Jedi where the two speeder bikes get entangled.
Yeah,
It's like poetry.
but only the speeder bikes was better.
Is he smiling or is he flinching?
I
They all
recognise
grimace. They look at the thing.
Grimace.
They grimace when they see the pods are tied and stuck together.
I recognise that look anyway. It's hemorrhoids.
A 9-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Well, he's Indian. He could be pooing in the street.
Oh, and there it goes, folks. There goes Brownie's money for tonight. Oh well, Brown.
He's been shown this movie for the first time, I think.
Lord, care to read, if you're available, as a super chat from Girth Knight, please?
I can, yes, from Girth Knight for $4.99. I want to compose a fierce retort to Platoon, but I'll just let him enjoy Anakin's turn with the other 1%.
Oh,
Well,
that's fighting talk.
yeah, it's fine. It's called being in the cultural elite, sir. I'm fine with that.
Oh God, we've enjoyed your.
Is that your own
interjections tonight.
cultural elite?
No, my iron
Your
rule of the
own
universe is
made-up.
that the more people who believe a thing, the more likely they are to be wrong. So I like being in the 1% personally.
So it's all get very exciting. Brownie's giving us close-ups
I'm
of
sure
engines.
Brian would have loved.
Sebulba.
I'm sure
Sebulba's
Brian.
in trouble.
I'm sure Brian would have loved all the engine shots. I did most of them for him.
He's loving this.
It still looks like a playing the N64 game, though.
Brian wants us to
Ooh.
slow down. He thinks we're
I
going
think
too fast through this.
The graphics are slightly better than the N64. I will say that. Much as I love the old thing.
Here you go, Garth Knight, Brownie and I both know it's hemorrhoids. It is,
Hemorrhoids.
yeah, not pleasant.
And he's done it. He's done it. We see some smiles from the family. Oh, look at Jar Jar smiling.
God. Just look at it without. Just put your hand over where Jar Jar is. It's fantastic. Look at Jar Jar. It's like, oh, fucking hell.
Oh, that's terrible, Brown. How could you?
Awful. It's just awful.
Isn't this where the little Greedo character does a little dance here, doesn't he?
Yes, like a shuffle.
But Z's looking like a royal guard. He's stock still. You didn't fancy a boogie down there, Z?
Oh, not at all. My buttocks were clenched throughout the entire thing.
Where were they? Back in the homestead.
I hadn't put them on yet.
Yeah.
Well, we did it, folks. We got through the poddy.
Look at all those cotton buds.
The crowd are going wild. The Grim Reaper seems to have sneaked his way in there. Can you see him on the right-hand side, about 5 rows back?
Yes. Yes.
Brownie, quick question. If you're going to give 1 to any of the crowd,
Okay. Out of 10. Okay,
Yeah.
just let me look. Right, okay. 17 rows back.
Yeah. How many rows in from the left or right?
17 rows back. I'm going from the right, so
This is like the world's shittest game of Where's Wally? What are we doing?
Where's Wonnie?
Or the most
About
complicated game of Guess Who.
16 people in from the right.
17 from the bottom, 16. I've just seen another Grim Reaper. That's
There's like a
extraordinary.
square thing. The person under
Yeah.
that brolly thing, yeah, 1 out of
Oh,
10. I'd definitely give her 1.
She's ancient. Oh, Brownie, you're an old
Mature, experienced. That's what we want. Moving on.
Dark Side of the Walk's just disappointed. There are no walk heads in
There
the
isn't.
crowd. It pops up. But look, he's done it. Let's give him his props. The kid's done it. Are we liking his 5 o'clock shadow there? All the dust from the. And what about? Should we give Jake Lloyd? Do we give him some credit for his acting performance through the pod race?
None at all.
No. Okay.
It gets even worse later. When
I think George might have picked the wrong person for the role.
George, I think George was going for a look that he liked.
Mm-hmm.
George, while that's valid, perhaps acting does make a difference. Here you go, Root. I'll do this. Garth Knight in the chats for $5. Is it me or is it Shmee?
Shmee.
I'm all right for the night. Yeah.
Just trying to scoot back to.
It's either that or it's Captain Hook's sidekick Smee. It could be that as well.
I'm sure she'll come back up again. Well, we'll check her out, Garth. We did it last week. Brownie thought she was a little bit wrinkled for his liking.
Max out of 10 for the one on the left.
Jabba is speaking on the part of the audience there. Jabba has fallen asleep during this and has to be woken up by the end. Never thought I'd have so much in common with a hut.
Abject Mediocrity says, Smee actually looks suspiciously like my recently divorced neighbour. Chat advice on whether I lurch around. I think you should get your Liam Neeson dong on the case there, Abject.
Vulnerable. That's all I'm saying.
Is it? Well, what advice would you give him, Brownie?
Is it a next door neighbour? Because you could drill a hole in the wall and.
Go for a coffee. I'm sure she'd want a nice ear to bend.
Anyway. Send us a picture, Abject. We want to see how much of a Shmee lookalike she is. Brownie, you've got some more money dropped into the bank.
Week 13 for £4.99 English pounds or British pounds. That's real money, that is, folks. When I first watched this, I thought, why is electricity purple in Star Wars? That put me off. Plasma, isn't it?
Wait till you see Samuel L. Jackson's lightsaber. Jabba and his sidekick. And then, it's good news. Anakin's basically won his freedom, I believe, isn't it?
He has. He's won the bet from the
What,
blue man.
He tries to renege upon it, but he's forced to accept that, yes, Anakin is free now. But Anakin doesn't yet know that his mother is not free, which I think is quite a nice little touch by the film.
Is this now the first kiss? Is this the first snog they have?
No, but she's thinking, in a few years, when it's legal, maybe.
He really looks... I mean, Natalie Portman's not exactly a big person, but Jake Lloyd's head compared to hers right here is quite disturbing.
I never thought of that. That's how naive I am. I never thought of that.
Well, I'm sure she's just navigating this like Schofield, and she's thinking, it's fine to be friends for now, but
oh my god,
once
I'll
it's
get
all
you a
legal,
job in the Jedi Temple, and you can come up through the ranks, and then when it's safe.
Is it rooming? Rooming.
Yes.
Well.
Oh God. That's how naive I am.
hello to Punchable Face, and he says she's got that Schofield look about her.
Yeah, she obviously likes the younger man, as it were.
Well, yeah.
And he likes the older woman, which is fair enough.
Which works out then, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
Brian citing Demi Moore as a real-world example of an age gap. Like a bit of Demi Moore, Brown?
Yeah. Back in the
So
day.
this is where Watto and Qui-Gon get into a bit of a debate. I think, am I right? Z, is Qui-Gon trying to negotiate both Anakin and his mother's freedom?
No, they
Oh,
did that
not this
earlier. This
Oh.
is the part where he's come to claim his winnings, as it were,
okay.
the parts for the ship.
Renegade.
And Watto's doesn't want to hand over Anakin because he thinks he cheated. But Qui-Gon threatens him and says, perhaps we should take it up with the Hutts.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Fighting talk.
that look.
Brownie, talking of real money, there's some Californian dollar.
M Duke 84 for 550 Californian woke dollars. So the Jedi go around collecting children who have the Force and take them back to the council to be knighted. The Schofield Experience.
Yeah, it's the name of his new show, the Schofield Experience. Very good, MJ.
I'll turn it off.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I believe, Brownie.
Oh, yes. Okay, I will just say, I still don't believe there's no downdraft from the Blue Man. Yeah? Because of his wings. I'm obviously filling the time here.
The Watto, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
right, okay. Right, you've queued us up for the next lot.
Come on.
So
20 minutes to get where I want to be.
okay, you've got a target in mind. Okay, we're gonna work like the clappers. So pod race all
Over.
boxed off, and we
1
are
hour 40,
reminded that
everybody.
Obi-Wan is in this film, and Obi-Wan rocks up, and
Don't forget the drinking game is every Obi scene, because he's got a different hairstyle, it's a drink.
Yeah.
So he's got a different hairstyle again. So drink, everybody.
fresh-faced Ewan McGregor. Chordy, I'm just trying to think of the discussion points we had last week, and obviously I'd love your input on it. What do you make of, well, firstly, Ewan, his casting and then his performance?
Performance definitely gets much stronger later on. I think in this film is very, very constrained. When he's probably the only actor who's really given license to do a huge amount of, or have any kind of fun with the character. Later on in the film, from Attack of the Clones onwards. In this film, though, unremarkable, but then most people in this film are unremarkable.
Just move on.
Yes, we're moving on, Garth. Okay, so a bit of love for Ewan. Thank you, MJ. Ruined took a 15-minute concert turned it into a 100-minute stream. Well, if you've seen The Last Jedi, I do specialize in slow space chases and dragging shit out. So there we go. So Anakin is he? Oh,
this is where he says that.
Well,
yeah, this is where he says you're free now. And then he starts talking about his mother. And I've done this.
Probably the strongest emotional moment in the film. It's a very shrewd and clever decision not to have him aware up until, well, not even yet, even up until a few scenes time, that his mother isn't coming with him, and she's not telling him either. She's fully aware that what the consequences are going to be, and is, one assumes, trying to shield him from some of the pain, or not having told him earlier in order to avoid distracting him from the task he had to complete. But that all builds up quite nicely to the payoff of that leaving moment, that moment of his realization and his almost turning back from the the Jedi Order when he runs back to his mum, which I think is supposed to be kind of a what might have been style shot. But it's in terms of emotional impact, this is probably the film's strongest scene. I think it slightly beats out Qui-Gon's death at the end, but only slightly.
While I was doing the slides for this, I just thought I've not seen this film many times, 2-3 times, and doing the slides for this, as I said, I thought I'd do the captions as well. It really is heartbreaking, and everybody, I think it's quite well written. Everybody's acting quite well. It's nicely paced, but do you know what lets it down? The acting from the kid. Just
I don't know. With this,
awful.
This is one of the
There's
only.
a couple of bits.
Yeah, there are a couple of bits. He's
awful.
never good in this film, but I thought for the most part he did these scenes as well. They're some of his stronger scenes, which is not to say they're good in their own right, but I thought he did just about enough to carry these two off. But I'm with you. He does slightly take you out of the film at points.
Do you think this would have worked better if Anakin was 12 or 13?
Yep.
Yes.
I definitely would.
Yeah. So we said he went too young.
Mm.
Yeah, I probably agree. Then it wouldn't be so bad with Padme, would it?
Because it would make more sense when he's in front of the Jedi Council, because then he really would be too old.
Yeah.
Because the kids you see in training in episode 2, they're not that dissimilar from Anakin himself. But I just think it would made a lot more sense if he was in early teenager.
Yeah, and then you can kind of build into his character that sort of teenage sullenness and the sulkiness. You can see it coming through earlier than we do, because we jump forward to Attack of the Clones in a few years' time. And that's when you start to see him, in sort of his teenage grumpy phase. But this version of Anakin doesn't really foreshadow that very much. And I think, to the extent I would agree with anyone who said that, maybe his turn is too quick, that's probably because he does start from this naive, innocent position, and we don't see the foreshadowing of that in this film. Whereas it would have been maybe more believable, as we've said, if he started older and then he has less of a fall to undertake, I guess.
Sorry, chat moved up. Here you go, not Brian. Disagree. Leaving his mother at a very young age has more of an impact on him, leading to his turn.
Yes and no. I think you could still have that effect if he was, say, 12 or 13 as opposed to 9 or 10. I think that would still resonate. And the real turn moment comes when obviously she dies, and he, in the second film, and he doesn't save her, he can't save her, he's not got there quick enough. And in a way, that's the Jedi's fault for keeping him away and for telling him to forgo all attachments. So there are other ways I think you can work that in, while still keeping the emotional resonance of this scene. Maybe 2 or 3 years older than he is, you have a better actor, better performs the role. You haven't lost the childish innocence, but you are at least slightly foreshadowing the character that will come. But I wouldn't want to go too much older than that, just because Brian's right. If you go beyond a certain age, then you will lose that emotional resonance, and you'll lose that character forming part of it as well. So
it's a shame he couldn't act in a nutshell.
Is Swappers available?
Go on. What is it?
Swappers, I'd like you to read out the subtitle, but can you replace the word free for the word bang, please?
Are we doing this in a regular voice, or
it's
are we
Palpatine, please?
No, do it in your Liam.
Oh, he's got a Liam in the bag. Okay, then. Get ready for this one, folks.
I tried to free your mother, Annie.
No,
Bang.
wrong.
Bang.
I tried to bang your mother, Annie, but Watto wouldn't have it.
Watto's the real hero. I forgot you had a Liam Neeson in the locker. Oh, Brian will be jealous. Oh, what a sad, tragic scene.
Oh, it's awful.
Oh, poor little Annie. And did we presume Liam didn't dip his dipstick into Shmi then?
No, not on this version. No.
Why doesn't she just identify as a Qui-Gon Jinn or as a Jinn and just go and leave with Qui-Gon and everyone else?
They've got explosives implanted in their head. She
Oh
does
my
say
God,
that
seriously?
in an earlier. Yeah, she says
Oh,
it
right.
in an earlier scene.
Oh my God, I do not remember.
God.
Perhaps the hypnotist did his work. Swappers.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did. Maybe it's
So
just
you
terrible.
didn't even realise, did you?
Maybe it's just age. I don't know.
Z, what's going on here? What's Annie doing with you?
He's leaving me behind.
Oh. And he gives you some parting words and says, "I'll be
Go on, speed up.
back
You'll
to
see him.
finish you one day."
You'll see him if you move
One
on.
day.
Finish him off one day. Yeah.
Oh. Z, go on. You have to read out the line. It's not a very big one, but
Oh my.
there we go.
Well, carry on. Speed up.
Well, 3PO,
I've been freed.
Fired.
Fired.
Go on, Z. We're going to get you to do all the Z
Sorry.
lines.
Master Anakin, you are my maker, and I wish you well.
I'm so sorry I wasn't able to finish you, 3PO. Give you coverings and all.
He's looking straight at the camera, and it's like, ah.
It's a C3PO POV shot. Oh.
Yeah, to be fair to Jake Lloyd, that is a direct role decision. This is actually a 3PO POV shot, so it's not just Jake Lloyd being incompetent. This is you don't do this unless you've been told to do it, for example.
Here goes Z.
Sell me? Oh my.
Hope you enjoy that, folks. And that's it. With that, they're off. Annie is leaving.
He'll turn back in a
Almost.
second, but
He
it
will.
gives rise to it's John Williams at his best as well in this scene. I think that implication of the
yes.
Jedi line is very effective.
Is this scene necessary? Where he's walking
Yes.
off and goes back? Right.
Yeah.
Firmly necessary, definitely.
Right, okay.
Are we okay? Look, let's call it as it is. Are we saying George dropped the ball occasionally in some of the directing in these
All of it.
prequels? Really?
Yeah,
Really?
for a huge amount. I mean, if you think of the number of talented actors in this who just don't perform, and it's not just one film or one or two actors, it's most actors across all three of the films. That is the point in common, the director's fault. And I think I have heard it said that George Lucas wanted it to seem a bit stilted because he was harking back to sort of, epics of the 50s and the 60s where some of the acting was quite stilted and deliberately so. It's supposed to be more profound for that reason. I don't really buy that as an argument, even if that is what George Lucas intended. It's a bad decision. It doesn't translate well into the modern era. And you can find interviews with George Lucas talking about, say, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where he says, yeah, we did this because we wanted it to be like a B sci-fi movie from the 50s. It's like, okay, fine, but it's shit, so don't do that. Taking inspiration doesn't automatically make it a justifiable decision. Some inspirations are good and some are not. So stilted acting, even if it was a conscious decision, cannot be explained away or excused by it's deliberate.
See, you're available.
Garth Knight in the chat says, for $4.99, honestly, I'm getting emotional with Z reading those lines. Me too, because after this, you know where I end up, don't you? On the Lars homestead.
With Owen Schofield laws. And this is the goodbye, isn't it? This is the goodbye scene.
Bad as this.
And I wonder what will become of old Shmi. Doesn't she get roughed up by some sand people? Well, we'll get into that one.
Captured by a grooming gang.
We'll get into that one around about November, folks, at the rate we're going.
2024.
But there he goes.
Even the way he walked away from his mum just didn't look right. The body language was just all bad.
Shmi's got a good set of shoulders on her there, Brown, hasn't she?
Well, he was carrying the script, that's why. Here you go. Smilex. Sorry, chat moved up. God almighty. Sorry, here we go. Rest in peace, schmillion. Come on, Ruin. Home straight now. Come on.
I'm just reading the chat and deciding which one to show.
Present. Come on.
We'll go with Fiona, but I'm not reading it out just in case.
Great by the spiritual sand people.
God, pack it in. Just
Great.
move on.
Great.
Oh, now here's someone. Tim's Talk has appeared in the chat. And he's referencing Maul there, and just right on cue, it's Darth Maul. We haven't seen him for about 3 weeks. So
Literally
3 weeks.
Swappers, bring us up to speed here. What the hell's Maul up to?
Oh yeah, I remember this bit now. He's just walked out of his ship and he's looking across the horizon. He had his binoculars and he's just checked out Mos Espa and told oh no, actually I think one of these droids is returning to him.
Yeah, you see that droid you see in the background when Watto and Qui-Gon are arguing after the race. That droid flies past, and that's his spy droid. So it's now returned to Maul to inform him that he's found Qui-Gon. So now off Maul goes
on his bloodfin speeder bike.
What do we think of his Maul's little speeder bike?
I love it, but this bit's a bit weird because he drops off the side of the cliff and then literally like half a second later appears. I know he's going fast, but he could have given it a couple of seconds, just a tiny little bit more time for him.
I thought the framing of the pictures, I'll go back, just awful.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just
you got ACD, don't you?
Do you know what I mean? It's just Lucas. Just no, you're not a good director, mate.
Oof, damning.
Just it's awful. Right, moving on.
Okay.
Now,
so look, we're going to get a bit of action here. I do believe.
What the hell's going on here? Where did they come from? Why didn't they
bit of a time leap
closer to the ship? I don't understand why they're so far away from it.
It feels like there's a huge cut scene in between those two moments because they're running. They already know they're being followed. Have they been running all the way across the desert, even though we previously saw Qui-Gon taking a little animal thing across it? There's a huge jump that I think maybe there is something in deleted scenes that I haven't seen, or maybe there was something that never even made it to those, but it does feel like there's a huge missing part here.
Franco says, I forgot Maul was in it. That's how long it's been. Brilliant.
See, here you go. Kranatos. Yeah, agree, Brownie. Consistently poor blocking. Yeah.
This is one of my favourite scenes because Darth Maul hasn't got a fucking clue who Anakin is. He's just going to run him over.
Run down a child, yes.
Yeah, for the hell of it. To get to the Jedi, he's just going to run over a kid.
Well, he is evil, so I guess that's fine. And again, could have saved the galaxy accidentally. So by not running Anakin over, he sealed his own doom.
Get down.
Couldn't he have done the Rey Skywalker backwards somersault and chopped Maul in half? Well, I guess he's just not as good as Rey, is he?
Nobody is.
I do like this bit though, the way he jumps off the bike and they suddenly start fighting. Great.
Maul. Okay, so I do like to revisit some of the questions from last week with Lord Chord, and one of the talking points last week, Geordie, was we were all a little bit disappointed how Maul met his ending at the end of this movie. Do you think they should have kept him as the recurring bad guy for these prequels?
I understand why so many people would have liked to see that, and I would have liked to have seen more of him. I think he's more effective, though, for only being in just this one. And also, unless you're going to massively change, and by massively, I mean massively change the way the other two films pan out, he doesn't really fit the story after this point. Maul isn't the political negotiator. He isn't the person who can found the Confederacy. He is a silent assassin. He's a really, really cool character. But I can't really find a way of fitting him into the role of Palpatine's apprentice beyond this point as written. Now, you could have changed those films entirely, and yes, then by all means keep him around. But sometimes it's good to let people die early and then leave you wanting more, as opposed to overusing them time and time again, like Darth Vader these days, till the point when people get a bit sick of him. So Maul is so good because he is out of the picture after this point. He's not tarnished with the rest of the sequel's ills. Prequels, sorry, Ills.
Well, until you watch Solo and somehow Maul returns.
Well, somehow Maul returns in Solo, yeah. And Rebels, and the Clone Wars.
And the Clone Wars. Yeah.
And anything Dave Filoni does. So he's not truly gone, no.
And Chordy, we have to ask you the most important question which came up last week and was debated thoroughly in the chat. What colour is Maul's cock?
Doesn't he tattoo his face as part of a ritual? So it can't be red and black, I don't think.
Oh,
I think that's
wow.
a tattoo. But I don't know what his actual skin tone is. So your guess is as good as mine. But it's chopped off at the end of this film, so we'll never find out.
Brownie.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'll press the button.
Go on, Brown.
MDuke84 for $250 woke dollars, that is. To be fair, Lucas didn't direct for 22 years. Well,
Barely
to be
directed
fair,
on
I
this
don't think he directed on this either, but there you go.
Oh, it's harsh. Tim's talk is pointing out that Maul's brother is yellow, so maybe he's got a yellow dong. There we go.
That's cirrhosis of the liver, that is.
And someone, Bad Pecs Alpha, suggesting Maul is born like that. It's not a tattoo. I don't know.
Wow.
Controversial.
I thought I'd read somewhere that was a tattoo, and maybe I made that up, but I'm pretty sure I did.
Dathomirians have a natural striping which they embellish with tattoos to make them look more fierce.
Franco suddenly rather invested in the movie. He was waning at one point, but now he says Maul's cock is chopped off at the end of the film. Yes, Franco, they cut that out of the cinemas.
The spaceship reminds me, I don't think I said it last week, of the SR-71 Blackbird.
Oh, yeah. The X-Men plane.
Yeah, the real plane, yes.
Yeah.
Well, it was on the X-Men, yeah.
Well, the brief duel comes to an end because Qui-Gon bails, doesn't he? And manages to get onto the ship. If that fight would have continued, who wins? Did Maul have an advantage there, or?
Yeah, Maul, I think the implication is Maul would have won. A, he's not been running across an entire fucking desert for no very good reason. But B, he's also younger and more nimble and lithe and powerful. And angry, and he has a whole half of a lightsaber that he doesn't use yet. Whereas your first shot of Qui-Gon after this brief fight is that he's exhausted already. So, yeah, I would have thought Maul would win an extended engagement.
And interesting, he's just using the one blade here. I'm right in saying that, hasn't he? He hasn't revealed the two blade.
Yeah, they're
Second
saving that
blade.
for the big reveal later, which is a
Yeah.
wise decision because that's a very effective shot.
Yeah. Now he's not injured. He's just knackered, is he?
Is?
Excuse me. Abject mediocrity says.
God, pack it
Liam's
in.
struggling to balance with his massive pendulous cock.
Rock.
Surprised he can actually like bend one of his knees, to be honest.
Oh, brilliant.
It's so
He's
big,
only got one leg.
It's got its own girth certificate.
Wah, 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 wah. Is he all weak like the rest of us?
No, I'm actually on a Tumblr page which has got 5 pages of jokes about Liam Neeson's cock.
Drew Gordon, hello to Drew, says the fight is longer in the deleted scenes. Is that true? Is anyone familiar
Well, if
with
that's
that?
true, it's like the stuff you want to see.
Yeah.
The scenes are deleted, and the chaff.
30
It's
minutes
just-
of pod race, and
yeah.
then we have a reduced fight scene.
Could this film do with a serious re-edit?
Well,
As we said about the last week, was
it's
it
a phantom edit, isn't it?
Yeah. But like an official Lucas edit.
Didn't someone edit all the prequels into one movie?
I heard that.
Yeah.
Because I think there's probably 2 movies, really, instead of 3.
Right. And this, Mr. B, is this the first meeting of the introduction and the first
Possibly.
meeting of? There we go. There's the handshake.
Look at this scene. Not one woman in it. Kathleen Kennedy would be going ballistic.
Well, we don't know R2's preferred gender. So.
We don't do it.
Someone's punchable face is still pretty sharp for this time of night, although he could be overseas. Says, "What are those child-sized containers in the background?"
Behave.
Please. It's not
I
Schofield's
think,
basement, for God's sake. And was this your target, Brownie?
I think you've done very well.
Oh,
101 people watching. Oh, sorry, 101 Dalmatians are watching. Just
Wait,
as
sorry.
finishing.
I joined for a stream and we spent the entire time on the fucking pod race. I thought we were actually going to go further than this.
Keep going, keep going.
No, we can't because that's the end of the slides. 2 hours bailing, boys. That's it.
Oh, God.
Lordy.
How many weeks are we on now, Brown? Is it 3 weeks?
Week 4 next week.
Week.
I was like,
God, we didn't even
finally,
get that.
the plot's actually going to start. I'll have something to say. Oh, no.
We didn't even get that out of Return of the Jedi, did we?
Oh,
We're doing, as we said, this is EFAP territory. 12-hour streams. But we're doing it.
I don't think EFAP would have spent that long on a pod race.
But we're doing it old man style. We're taking it in 2-hour chunks, not 12
2-hour
hours.
chunks.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it, Rue.
Oh, well, look, we got there. We got through the pod race, and we got through. We spent a good hour and a half on the pod race and about 5 minutes on the Maul and Qui-Gon fight, and that probably reflects the balance George gave us as well. But yeah, I guess we should thank all the retrobates on the panel.
The chat first.
So the chat first. Is that how we do it? Is it? Okay.
Yeah, chats.
Individually,
or shall I do
to
it?
thank all 100 of
Yeah,
them? No, go on, you do it,
Archbender,
Brownie.
thank you. Atom Gray, thank you. John Z, thank you. Drew Gordon, thank you. Fiona M, thank you.
If he doesn't mention
Howie
you,
Dewitt,
unsubscribe.
thank you. Arnold Elliott, thank you. Tim's Talk, thank you.
There does come a point at
Tim-
which this does transition into a joke, right? There
Tim-
will come a point when you stop doing
Tim,
this.
I like saying this. Hannah Bomb, thank you. Kranatos, thank you. Nikki Raylan, thank you. To name but a few.
Philip Schofield, thank you.
I don't think I've seen him. Chat, you're wonderful.
Did you
See you
even
next time.
thank Girth, who gave you about
And especially
$140 tonight?
Girth Knights. Thank you,
Girth
Girth.
Knights, okay.
Please send my regards to Michael.
Uh,
Over to you.
Vex enjoyed it, and we loved having you along, Vex. And yeah, so I want to thank all my fellow retrobates. Lord Shaw, it's great to have you back, Lord.
Thank you. Not really sure we actually accomplished anything with this one, but it's always a pleasure to be here.
We chewed the fat for a couple of hours. I want to give my thanks to our resident Palpatine swappers.
You're very welcome, Gruen. I'm looking forward to seeing myself next week.
Oh, yes, if we get that far, that is. Thank you to Z, and we particularly enjoyed the emotional lines you delivered, Z. It was perfect.
Oh, you're very welcome. I do apologise for the audio problems I was having at the start of the stream, but I got here in the end.
Oh, it's been good to have you, Z. And last but not least, thank you to Brian, who was on very briefly at the start.
Cheers,
and then,
Brian.
Appeared in the chat, and we love Brian's inputs as well. And last but not least, it's old red and black face himself, Mr. Brown. So I'll leave you to
Cheers,
I'll
everybody.
leave you to take
Cheers,
take it home for us, Brown.
As I said, chat, you're wonderful. We'll see you next time. Probably Sunday, maybe Saturday. We always say that, we never do. Chat, wonderful. Rue, cheers, my friend.
Oh, you're welcome, and we'll be back
Part
next
4 next week.
We'll be back next week, folks. We're gonna get through this if it kills us.
Do you want to see us out then?
I'll just say good night, farewell, stay safe, and until next Wednesday, man babies, go and watch The Last Jedi. Goodbye.
Timing.